well. Hello, everyone. Nice to see you all. I'm Daniela Flores. I'm an educational consultant for Oxford University Press, based here in Ciudad de Santa Fe. And well, it's a great pleasure to be here with you all in this webinar together with advice. In this part of the presentation, I will have the opportunity to share some insights on Oxford Reading Club. Griselda has mentioned some of them. As you might know, Oxford Reading Club is a comprehensive reading library where you can find all the different graded readers Oxford University Press has to offer, right? It is an online reading platform with over 700 titles available online from our 12 Oxford graded series. Even you can find here some readers that you might have never seen them in their print version because they never came to Argentina, but that they are there, right, in our library. They go from, you have a great variety of reading text types, as Griselda mentioned, from phonics to classic literature, right? You know some of the collections like Bookworms, Dominoes, Oxford Read and Imagine, Oxford Read and Discover, but there are some others like Classic Tales, phonics programs. It appeals to readers from a very young age, so you can work with this with young children and also with adults. And they go from, you have readers from a pre-A1 level to a C1 level. This means that everyone will find a reader that suits their age, their level of language, and their interest, right? Now let's see how the platform looks like and what you can find in the platform. Let's go into oxfordreadingclub.com. That is the website. And when you go in there, you will see this. This is the first view you have. If it is the first time you are working with Oxford Reading Club, you will have to register. You have there at the top, at the right top bottom for register, for you to register. If you have worked with other Oxford platforms like Oxford English Hub or Oxford Learners Bookshelf, you have to register again because this is a different platform, right? There, when you register, you create your own Oxford Reading Club ID and you set your passwords. When all that information is provided, you go into sign in, you complete with the information, your Reading Club ID and your passwords, and you click on sign in, right? When you go there, this is what you'll see, okay? This is the home page for Oxford Reading Club. The first time you get into the platform, you get as a present 80 books from the different collections for you to get to know it and have a look at that. And let's see the different features you can find in the platform. The first one is the reading chart here, the enter code. You can join an institution, and here we have like a browser where we get to find our title, the title we are looking for, right? Let's imagine that our students or you as the first user, you don't know where to start. You don't know what to read, as many times happens, right? Well, here there is a button that says where to start. And let's see, when we click on that, let's see where it takes us. Well, when we are not aware, when we are not sure of where to start, well, Oxford Reading Club gives you a hint on how to do it. There is a placement test that it helps you after a series of questions as regards vocabulary, grammar, and reading, reading comprehension questions, you are offered some suggestions of where to start reading, right? So some collections on where to start. This placement test can be taken as many times as the users want, and the series are recommended at the end of the test. And the results won't be saved. So anytime you get lost, so how can I continue? Then you can take the placement test again and you have an idea of or a suggestion of how to go on, right? Let's go back to our home page. In here, you will see that, as I told you, you have the browser. Let's imagine we have a collection to choose. We follow the suggestion the placement test gave us, and here you can look for the title, and you also have this feature that is the filter button that helps you. I'm going to show you here the different possibilities you have to narrow down the 719 books that you get. It is a huge number, right? So to narrow down, you can use the filter button here. The filter button helps us get, for example, we can choose the different series we want to read. As I told you, we have 12 collections. Probably you know Dominoes, you know Bookworms, you know Read and Imagine, but there are many others you can choose from. You can also narrow down by selecting the Common European Framework level that suits you or your students when you have to choose a reader. And you can also choose according to the topic. If you're special, Griselda mentioned something related to this. When you are especially interested in working with a particular topic, or you are working with CLIL and you have to do some collaborative work with other school subjects, and you are particularly interested in working with that, and you want to know which readers from the Oxford Reading Club and the different collections are deal with these topics, you can choose also as regards the topic. So have a look at how many different filters you can use when selecting a reader. Okay, let's go on. Well, another very important feature of Oxford Reading Club is that it gives users the possibility to read through an approach to reading, follow 5 carefully guided steps. Okay, I'm going to show you the different steps you have here. Okay, so users, when they select a reader, they can follow these 5 steps approach to reading that go from a warm-up activity, the listen up, the read it itself, the speak up, and the wrap up options, right? In the case of Bookworms and Dominoes collections that are supposed to be for more experienced readers, step 2, 3, and 4 are kept. The step 1 and step 5 are not included for Bookworms and Dominoes. Let's see, I've chosen here the Town Mouse and the Country Mouse from the collection of classic tales, and I am offered by the platform these 5 steps approach to reading. Let's see what it looks like. In step 1, we have a warm-up activity that helps users to come to know the vocabulary they need, right? It's like a pre-teaching vocabulary activity through a game. In this case, this is it can be used especially with children. So they have a game to be introduced with the key vocabulary they need to know to start with the story. right? Let's see, and you can see it is done with a game where students, to move on, they have to go on scoring points. Let's go on with a step 2. This is what comes in step 2. In step 2, it is only with the students listening to the story. It is the listen up step where students have the pictures. As you can see here, they are shown the pictures are displayed, but there are no written words. Students just listen to the story, right? They can listen and they can imagine what is happening. Griselda mentioned something related to visual reading, okay, when it comes to the oral word, and it fosters their imagination, it fosters their prediction of what is going to happen with the story, and they don't get lost with the written words, because at this point the main the idea here is to focus on general understanding. Okay, so students just listen and follow what the story is told. You can see here that the page turns automatically when they are in this step, and it always gives them the estimated time for that part to finish with the story. There's also a button here you can see where the learners, the users, can adjust the speed for the story to be read according to their preference. Okay? Good. Step 3. After the warm up and the listen is when students actually read the story. Okay? This is the reading section where students are allowed to have, as you can see here, different tools are displayed. We are going to see them in some details when they go into the start button in the step 3 step. In the read step, sorry, they click on start, and these different tools are displayed. The first one is it has to do with the page. They can choose the page they want to go to, the dictionary, the my word button, the pen button, the read to me, and the record button. We'll see that these tools in a minute, especially these 3 ones that are the most significant ones. The first one has to do with the dictionary tool that gives students, whenever they are working with the story, they have the possibility to look for a words that they don't know or that they want to check the meaning. They can go into the dictionary button, they click on that, they type the words, they find it, they have sometimes the translation, and they can also have, they can listen to the word. They can see example sentences using that word in other stories, in other readers from the platform, and they can add it to a vocabulary list. This is a feature that can help to what Griselda mentioned, so one of the activities with using the keywords or writing a summary or working together with the 10 words and going into 20 words, because they can start creating their own vocabulary list. Okay, and they store them. This is a personalized list. It is a record for each of the users, and it's like going and placing the words they want or they want to know in their backpacks, because later on they can use that or they can work with that for some other activities, right? So they can create their own personalized lists under the My Words tool. And finally, another activity, another tool that is really useful is the Records Yourself tool in this step, where students can click on the bottom, and they can record themselves. They can take voice notes. They can record whatever they want. They can practice their pronunciation. It's like a sticky notes, but in this case, voice notes that they might keep on their own platform, right? Step 4 has to do with the speak up activity. It is also for recording themselves, but in this part, students are asked to listen to sentences and follow along to record themselves. So in this case, they are given the sentences, they have to practice pronunciation. In the previous one, in step 3, they can record themselves with whatever they want to say, with whatever they want to practice, right? Okay, let's move on to step 5. Finally, in the wrap-up activity, this is also presented as a game for students to practice and have a final conclusion of the story or the reader they are working with. Once they finish the first book, in the reading chart button, they are given a reading chart of how to follow, how to continue. Apart from the placement test we've seen or the readers assigned by the teacher, here they can have like a map of suggested readers of how to continue. Probably you have seen this feature in other platforms, in other websites where you are watching a series and sometimes they start recommending you some options to continue. Well, this is what the reading tab does within Oxford Reading Club, right? Then another feature has to do with recognition, okay, to have that sense of achievement. There are many different medals and badges that students can get whenever they finish a book for the numbers, for the minutes or the time they spend within the platform doing the different activities, when they have completed the 5 steps, for instance, and not just 2 or 3 of them, when they have added and they have created their own vocabulary lists, they also get a medal for that. When they have when they record sentences, so it's like all the time the platform is triggering students and motivating students to achieve different kinds of badges. And it's not only for the ones who read more books, but also to others who probably take more time. So we are really fostering here autonomous readers, and we are celebrating their achievements within the platform because of the fact of reading, right? The another feature that students can have, users can have, is to have their own reports. They can do it in Spanish. They can download their reports, a monthly reports, to see the number of books they read, the time spent reading, and how many words they read during that month. Okay, they can go to the reports. This is like a view of the reports users can download, and they can do it in Spanish or in English as a sense of achievement for themselves, to share at school, to share at home with their parents, right? Okay. And when an institution adopts Oxford Reading Club for their students, the institution gets a learning management system platform that allows teachers to create classes, create students, create users, to assign readers, to assign them as tasks that go beyond the classroom. And also it is a way to track a student's progress, right? Okay. Well, if you want to know, if you want to purchase, if you want to buy these licenses, there are 3 licenses available according to the extension of the time they are you have access. It can be for 4 months, for 8 months, or for 12 months. And in that case, you have to contact advice, right? So that you can purchase one of these licenses for your students, one of these versions, okay? Thank you, that's it. I don't know if there are